Hi, friends. Welcome to what is going to be a new series for me. It's something I'm going to try doing, or a new thing on my channel. I don't know what. I Yeah, it's just going to be TBR Takedown. Um, I'm always adding new books to my list, mainly just new releases and stuff like that. I'm trying not to buy anything that's not a new release or isn't a companion to a series that I already own that I need to get like the last or second to last book or whatever. Which I think I only have one series like that right now. But anyway, so this is going to be my TBR takedown. So I'm going to try and work through things on my backlist. I'm trying, so what's on my shelves. And then I'm going to try and get my new releases read almost as soon as they come in, if I can. Now we know how that goes. That's not always the case. But I'm going to try. So my goal is to try and get as much as I can off my shelves and off of my cart when it just comes in the mail. Um, so as of right now, I have two new releases that I need to get to that I already have. So that is my goal, is to try and get to those. And then go from there. So I'll keep you updated. All right, let's go. So right now I am reading Out of the Woods by Helena Bonham Young. Um, if you watched my last video, or you watched my January, you'll have seen that I got that. Um, I literally received it that morning that I recorded that video. But anyway, um, so this is my buddy read for the month, and I'm going to finish this. Um, I'm only like 70 pages in. I started late last night, so I really only read that much today. Um, I'm really enjoying it. I love that the characters have been together for an extremely long time. My husband and I, you don't know, my husband and I have been together for 24 years. Um, we've been married for almost 13 of those. Um, so yeah, I met him when I was really young, and we dated off and on since 24 years, and then we spent more time together than we did apart. Let's be honest. But anyway, so I like this story because they've been together since she was 14. They've had a really long relationship. They've been married, and they're kind of stumbling a little bit. Some of that has to do with her because she's trying to figure out what the heck she's doing with her life. So that's all I've got out of it so far. They're about to go on a wilderness retreat right now, so that's going to be fun because they are not outdoorsy people, and boy, does that not describe me and my husband 100%. Okay, so it is 11 o'clock at night, so I'm about to go to bed. But I have made it to page 238 of Out of the Woods, and I'm absolutely eating this up. I'm 71% of the way through, I think is what my storygraph said. So I'm absolutely loving this. I relate a lot to um, the main character, Sarah, um, with losing the parent and all that other stuff. And I love the fact that not only is she growing in her relationship with her husband, she's making new friends and all this other stuff, and she's helping other people out, but she's also growing herself and learning how to overcome all the crap that's gone on in her life at an early age. And so I can kind of relate to some of the stuff that she's been through. And timing wise, it may not have been the same ages and stuff, but I kind of feel like I was in the same boat, some of the stuff that was happening to her. Um, I don't want to give a whole lot away because I don't want to spoil a whole lot for anybody. I love the way Hannah writes. I love her writing style, and I just I love how I get so immersed into her stories, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I don't like it as much as Out on a Limb. I'm not gonna lie about that, but it's pretty daggone close in my opinion. I'm really enjoying it. I do love that Win and Bo and August all show up in this book too. Um, I wouldn't necessarily say you have to read this book first or read this book after reading Out on a Limb, just because they, their names get brought up a lot and things about them get brought up a lot, but you wouldn't be lost if you read Out on a Limb, after this. Um, but I can see where they would go hand in hand, and you would know Win and Bo's story long before you know Sarah's. So, um, yeah, I mean, it it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. It's a really sweet story. Um, there's been some definite funny parts about it, and I'm not gonna lie about that. There's there's been that humor. Sorry, I'm tired. There has been that humor in it that's kind of broken up some of the more intense parts of it, which is nice considering the fact that they're trying not to give you whiplash. But considering that there's been some heavy things talked about in this book and all that other stuff, but yeah, it's been a really good read. But I'm gonna go to bed now, and then I will update tomorrow when I finish because this isn't gonna take me long to finish. I mean, I read 200 pages today, and in the amount of time that I read, it didn't take me long to get there. Her books are easy to read, but there's a lot of stuff into them. There's a lot of detail in them, and yeah, the stories are, in my opinion, are just beautifully written, and the subject, screw it. Ugh. Sorry, the subject matter, even though it is a little bit on the heavier side, and there is some tension things that happen. It definitely reads very well, so I'm definitely enjoying it. I don't know how many more times I can say that. I guess I'm too tired. But anyway, I'll update you tomorrow when I finish. All right, so I finished Out of the Woods. I absolutely freaking love this. I absolutely loved it. So Sarah and Caleb, they've been together for 17 years. Um, and Caleb has a successful career, all this other stuff, and she's just been a stay-at-home wife. They have no kids. They have no interest in having kids. She feels lost, doesn't know what to do with herself. So, in return, it kind of ends up hurting their relationship in a little bit. So they decide that they're going to go on this couples retreat that is a hiking trip. They end up doing some therapy sessions, like separately and together in a way, and then they meet other couples that are kind of along the same line, struggling in the same ways, and it makes them realize that they're not alone. But then they build new friendships, all this other stuff, and then their relationship becomes so much better. And yeah, it's really good. I really enjoyed it. There's some harder topics in this, not super bad, but it deals with the loss of a parent and all this other stuff, and crappy parents on his part. So it was written well. You kind of got to see the backstory of her mom and all this other stuff, so it actually made it a little bit more nice, I guess. Like it made it believable. But anyway, um, it was beautifully written. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. Absolutely, it's very close behind Out on a Limb. Out on a Limb, I think will always be my top book from her because it was my first one of hers, and I absolutely loved it. This one just under it. So, but yeah, really, really, absolutely loved it. It was a good read, but my book of the month box came in today, and guess what book I have early? At Rebel Witch, the second Crimson Moth book. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be my next read, and I'll I'll let you know about that one. Get there. It's up on my shelf right now. Just put it up there so it has a home when I'm done reading. But anyway. I think that's going to be the next book, but I'll keep you updated on what I decide. Okay, so it's been a couple days since I've updated. I finished Rebel Witch, I needed to sit on it for a hot minute before I said anything, because I was eating it up. I loved every minute of it. And then we got to part 3, which is the last part of the book. And I was like, seriously? Let me wait until the ad's done playing. For some reason, the ads are very loud. Don't mind my kitchen. It's still a work in progress. It's been 6 years since we started on it, which they haven't finished it yet. Anyway, so I needed to sleep on it before I could give any opinion on it. Because part 3, I'm very upset with the way that it ended. Everything was going great. First part, second part, all this other stuff. And then we get to part 3, and it was, to me, it felt like a letdown compared to how good the enemies to lover was in the first, and then back again to enemies and lovers in the second book. And then we get to the third part, and I'm just like, really? This is how we're gonna end it? I was a little disappointed. I was kind of hoping that there would be a third book, but at the way that that ended, I don't think there is. I think this is just a duology, just because of the way that it ended. But yeah, I was a little bit let down. Now, mind you, I did enjoy it. As I was reading it, I could hear all these songs playing in my head. So I actually made a Spotify playlist specifically for reading the Crimson Moth books, because those were the only songs that I could hear as I was reading it. So I will actually link that down below if you guys are interested. I listen to a lot of rock music. If you don't like rock music, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you don't listen to it. It's got a lot of Breaking Benjamin, I Prevail, all them on it. Anyway, but yeah, the music has never related to a book so much to me until this, that I was like, I cannot not hear this song. So I was eating it up, loved it. And then I got to the end and I was just like, oh, okay. But anyway, so I finished that. I gave it like 4.25 stars, 4.5 stars, somewhere around there. It kind of fluctuates on my mood when I'm talking about it. Depends on what I say about it when it comes to the rating. But anyway, so I finished that book, and I really needed to start something else, and I just wanted something quick and kind of smutty. So I picked up Highest Bidder by Sarah Kate. I'm back. Anyway, I picked up Highest Bidder by Sarah Kate. This is the fifth book in the Salacious Players Club. There's only one book left, Madam. I don't own it yet, but that is on my agenda to get this week, is the 5th book, so I can be complete with the series, especially since she just made an announcement the other day. There's like a whole video and everything, and I'm excited. There is a new series coming out that is connected to Salacious Players Club, so I'm very excited about that. But anyway, so yeah, I really need to finish Madam. This is full-on Schmeck's Club, just pure smut. And they're easy reads. I think the longest one's like maybe 300 pages. And they're very, very easy to read. And the print's actually like a fairly decent-sized print. So, yeah, and all the books have covered all the tropes. This one... he is a lot older. He's 35, 36 years older than her. He was in love with her mom at one point in his life, and her mom died, and she quite literally is trying to figure out who he is and why he gave her a check when she was a child, and because she never met him and all this other stuff. She actually kind of stalks him to where he lives. And then the next thing you know, they're in a relationship and they're traveling to Paris and just having the time of their lives. And yeah, so yeah, this was a good, fun, enjoyable read. It doesn't take long to read. I want to say it maybe took me 4 hours total to read this whole book. It's super simple and quick. So I finished this last night. So this morning I woke up and said, what the heck am I going to read today? because at this rate, I wasn't necessarily in the mood to read anything. Like after I got done with Rebel Witch, I knew I just needed pure smut to read. But I didn't know what to read, and I just kept staring at my shelves. So I am excited to say I have started reading Flock by Kate Stewart. This series has been sitting on my shelves for a hot minute, and I have not touched it, mainly because I know that Exodus is supposed to kill me. It's supposed to just rip my heart out and shred it to pieces. So I've been a little bit iffy about it, but I also know that it's really good, so I'm just going to have to do it. Right now I'm only on page 46, so I don't have a whole lot to report on, besides the simple fact that, she's new to town. Her dad's the asshole that runs the business that pretty much the entire small town works at. And in order to get her inheritance and trust fund money or whatever it is, she has to work for her dad for a year. So yeah, she's quite literally moved to town. She's new. She started orientation the next day, and the very next day is her first day at work, and she gets invited to go meet a bunch of people around her age. And so she's met quite a few characters, got brought in really, really quick. So she's met quite a few people, and then that's it. That's it. That's all I got. So as of right now, I have no opinion. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad, but I'll keep you updated. Okay, so I finished Flock. I'm not gonna lie, I completely went into the series only knowing that people loved it. I knew absolutely nothing else about it. So colored me shocked when I discovered that it's a why choose, and she chose both. She goes to move in with her father, who's a piece of crap, who quite literally is just the sperm donor that created her. And she's only doing it to gain the inheritance so that way she could take care of her mom, all this other stuff. And then, of course, what does she do? It's a small town. She falls in love with bad boys. But they're involved in stuff that they don't want her to know about, and then she ends up finding out about it anyway, blah, 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 blah. Did not realize that was where this was going. I was completely shocked. I was deciding between what I was going to start reading next, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and read Exodus. I know that one is supposed to be the heaviest and just hurts the most. But the way that this book ended, you kind of just can't skip and just not go to the next one. But anyway, so I read this. So that is actually, I think, a productive reading week for me, by the simple fact that I read 4 books. 2 are new releases, and 2 were on my TBR already. So for my first TBR Takedown video, I think I did good at keeping the new releases pretty well read as they came out. I do have Scythe and Sparrow and Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I still have those that came in and haven't read yet, but those will probably be on my next TBR Takedown. I'm slowly working on, because we just organized all those shelves back there, and let me pull up my document here. It's book 3. Okay, so looking at my reading spreadsheet that I have, I own a total of 226 books. 139 of those are read, which the number stays pretty consistent around that number, just by the simple fact that I'm always adding new books. But my total unread is 87. So this is the first time in a year that my number has been under 90. So I'm pretty proud of that. Some of them were new releases also, so that's exciting. Let's see.
So far for the year, I have read 68.4% of my backlist, which is awesome. I have read 21.1% new releases, and then 10.5% was last year's releases. So I'm slowly getting to the point where I'm catching up. I'm getting there. Let's see. I've been able to completely finish one series so far this year, I believe. I'm caught up with the Boys Atonement series. I'm caught up with the Empyrean series. I started The Perfect Marriage. I think that one's just going to be duology, so I'm not saying that's necessarily a series. Okay. And then I finished The Crimson Moth, which like I said earlier, I'm 99% sure that is the last. I don't think there's going to be another Crimson Moth book. I think it's just going to be, I think it's just going to end up being a duology, which is fine. I'm okay with it ending like that. If there's another one, yay. If there's not, oh well. But anyway, so 4 books in the last week. I don't think that's bad considering 2 were backlist and 2 were new releases. So I'm actually very impressed and very happy with that. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with me this week, and I will see you guys next week. Bye. Okay, this is editing me. I realize as I'm putting all my clips together, I'm wearing the same sweatshirt. I promise. I've washed this thing probably 3 times this week. I absolutely love this sweatshirt. I got it from a little boutique near me, and it's adorable, and it's embroidered, so it's not gonna just like peel off immediately. But anyway, yes, I'm wearing the same sweatshirt in a lot of the clips that I put together, and I promise it's been washed multiple times. But anyway, yeah, I am wearing different clothes the rest of me, but the sweatshirt, it's the same one. It's been washed a couple times though. Just thought I'd add that in there because I'm sure someone would pick up on it like I did.